At number 5, it's the Miami Hurricanes. And Miami played for the national championship last year. They lost that game at home, but still, man, 13-3, pretty remarkable season. So sit on that for a second. You get to the final, you host it, you lose by 6 to what was a generationally elite team in Indiana. Very impressed with what Mario Cristobal did. But the quarterback story is the same as it always is. He's going to start a transfer quarterback for the 3rd consecutive season. It was Cam Ward, then it was Carson Beck. Now it's Darian Mensah. He transfers in from Duke. And Mensah's not just some, I hope this guy works out. Well, he led the entire Power 4 last year in passing yards with nearly 4,000 passing yards. So this is a really productive passer and has done an amazing job and will now be stepping into a program that has better skill around him, better offensive line around him, more than likely, and an offense that has seen 2 guys get drafted in the last 2 years. One of those 2 guys was the number 1 overall pick. So who is he going to be throwing to? Well, Malachi Tony's a pretty good starting point. He's back, and he might be pound for pound the best player in college football and was a sophomore as a freshman last year. Now he's moving into his sophomore year. But this is going to be amazing to see the progress he makes because he can run it, he can throw it, he can catch it underneath, he can catch out of the slot. I want to see him now continuing to expound on his own versatility. So what he does in a one-on-one situation is going to be amazing. And him paired with a guy that's as talented as Mensah, that's going to be unique to watch throughout this season. So Miami last year, though, when we're evaluating them, their star, at least to me, well, at least in the playoffs, they won a first-round playoff game on the road at Kyle Field. That was impressive, right? They beat Ohio State. They beat Ole Miss. Those were all incredible. So 3 playoff wins, 2 of those wins against teams that are currently ranked in my top 11, and yet they're still having to watch someone celebrate on the field. Well, the question might be along the offensive line. We'll get to that in just a minute. We know Shannon Dawson's back running the offense. Corey Heatherman is back running the defense. And if you look at Mensah in Dawson's offense, I really like how this marriage could work out because Dawson's going to morph the offense around the quarterback rather than the other way around. Hey, square peg, round hole. Nope. I'm going to mold it to how you feel and what you do best. You also have Mark Fletcher back at running back. They go out and they get Cooper Barkate, who is one of the most coveted receivers in the portal, who just so happened to be Darian Mensah's teammate at Duke. So the quarterback didn't arrive alone. He brought a target with him. They also go out and get a legitimate difference maker, a defensive end, in Damon Wilson, the edge rusher out of Missouri. But it's the offensive line that I'm paying very close attention to, and it's being rebuilt around a lot of new faces. But Miami brings back 12 starters. They're favored to win the ACC. And if you listen to Mario Cristobal at Media Day, said that this season will be earned, not inherited. Right now, the schedule, they're 45th hardest in the country. That's the most gettable path of anybody inside the top 8 for the most part. And the projections had them around 10-2. Feels almost a little bit light. Now, the one game that settles it might be on November 7th. That's when they go to South Bend and play a team that I'll talk about here in just a moment. So why is Miami 5th and not 3rd? Well, it's not the quarterback. It's kind of what's in front of them. The offensive line, to me, last year was the star, and Miami has to replace that quality. And they're rebuilding it around some quality pieces, some guys that are really good. So the new quarterback behind a new line is the oldest problem in football. But if there's one coach in America that I trust to build an elite offensive line, it might be Mario Cristobal. That is his entire professional identity, and he has earned the benefit of the doubt. But the transfer quarterback model has now worked twice in a row, and twice in a row is a track record, not necessarily a guarantee. So every single year, Miami has to rebuild the most important relationship on the football team. It's the one between the quarterback and everybody else from scratch in August with a guy that hasn't done it before, but they've done it beautifully twice. So it's genuinely impressive, the roster construction. So 5th is me respecting that completely and wanting to see the handoff work one more time before I put them in front of the 4 teams that sit right in front of them. But I think Miami has a chance to be right back where they were a year ago, assuming the offensive line doesn't fall off a cliff, which I don't think is ever going to happen, at least not on Mario Cristobal's watch.